the publisher asked me, like, hey, what do you want to write a book on? And the obvious first answer was superfoods and some of that, running around the planet kind of thing. I actually didn't want to write it on that in the beginning, because I wanted to write it on these foundational things that I've learned over the last couple decades, and as I call them, the five life forces that are in the book, that are governing principles that can really, when you understand them, they will, burn through every fad. They will hopefully give you the information and the awareness of how to really live healthy, so that you don't have to kind of get yanked around by your body, because we have these things called fatal conveniences in our life right now. We have it's easy to kind of control temperatures in your house. It's easy to go to any processing food, fast food place. You can, so much abundance, but at the same time, those conveniences aren't necessarily in our best interest. So it's kind of, the tide has turned into, it's some of the greatest inventions of our time in supplying food to the 7 billion people. But at the same time, we have lost so much in terms of what the power that we have individually and collectively. We've created a culture that simply has not governed itself by these by the food itself, by the clean water, and so it's kind of like, this book is for me a way to kind of spark the common sense back into all of us, because this is not a book where I'm trying to get you to buy into some sort of new idea of some special miracle. I mean, quite the opposite. I'm saying that we are a miracle, that our body is an unbelievable vehicle and self-sustaining entity. And what I describe in the book is these life force principles that can help gear you in the best way possible, so that you don't have to kind of live by having like the victim of having this body that doesn't really give you what you want. In fact, the title Superlife was really the essence of what I wanted to pass on to people, because if you have your health and you're happy and you're doing what you want, then you're generating your life. You're not just kind of existing and yanking your body around, and that's not living. So anyway, so I go down the rabbit hole, and some common sense and some things to maybe get people to re-examine our view of these pillars of health, because we've all, and myself included, grew up in a culture where we assume food is healthy by just going to the market, when in fact it absolutely, unequivocally is not. So anyway, there's a lot of fun stuff in there for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, the integrity of our food has been greatly compromised. I mean, with everything that's going on in the food industry. So to have you shed some light on that, I think is really powerful.
Yeah, and the book's being received really well. I'm really happy about that. It's people are excited to
Yeah.
read something that they can relate to, and in a voice that is to the person that needs it. It was a very tricky thing, because I didn't want to write the book to impress my colleagues. It was the last thing I wanted to. I'm from a small town, and I want to write it so that people who were not studying this for their life can look at this and read it and get something from it and apply it and be excited that what you have is not wrong, that your body is not broken, that when you add a few things, few subtle things added up over time, give fantastic rewards. And that's really from, drinking the right kind of water every day, added up over time, gives you energy and regulates your digestion and supplies your every 100 trillion cells the electrolytes that it needs. It's that kind of thing. So, you know, I was taught early on, feed your cells and you feed your life. But if you undercut the very essence of how we were created, what the cells require, you're going to undercut your health, and those will be um, um, essentially degenerative problems that you will then later have in life. So, I just wanted to create something that gives back the power so that we all can live a happier and healthy, essentially, super life.
That's beautiful. I mean, really, it is getting back to the basics. That's what it's all about.
Indeed. And it's interesting too, because the basics aren't the same basics anymore. That's the trick, because water's not the same water,
Yeah.
and food's not the same food. So essentially that is absolutely true, but you have to do it with eyes wide open, right? You have to go, hey, okay, so is this package something? Is it okay for me? And who's doing it? And I've spent 15 years behind the scenes working with farmers, and I've seen the horrible care that people give to plants, medicinal plants, regular food, and they don't have your best interest, and that's scary to me. And so to be able to essentially originally formulate something like Shakeology and have a company that supplies the resources and the manpower to absolutely make sure that what's in that bag is in that bag, and at its power, at its potency, is unfortunately a very rare thing, especially in the superfood and the food world. It's scary because you can grab many ingredients, or many products on the market, and they don't even have what they're saying what's supposed to be in it. And that's scary. And that's one of the big distinctions and differences of what Beachbody is doing and why I'm still around.
Right. Well, and that leads us to, how did you get connected with Carl and Isabella? Like, what's the history there?
Yeah, so the long history is that I was after I lost my father to alcoholism, I was like, okay, what am I really gonna do? And I had been playing around and traveling a little bit, and I have all these formulas in my head. It's really time now to invest into my legacy. So I had every intention of putting my own formulas out in the market, and I had started, and I was really far down the rabbit hole in that. And in that process, Isabel got a hold of I had a little superfood bar that I had made, and then she got in a conversation with a guy that I had hired who was running a nutrition store, and their interaction led him to say, like, because she said, yeah, my boyfriend at the time, Carl, is thinking about kind of launching a nutrition line that matches the exercise. And so Miguel just said, hey, you need to talk to Darin. And so like a week later, I was at Isabel's house, and I've never met someone so akin to my philosophy of food and nutrition, and she had the understanding of what I was learning. So we were a perfect match. And then Carl, I met him a little bit later, and he sold me based on his passion and based on what he wanted to create in the world. It's kind of one of those things where how you can feel someone's truth when they're talking, and you can feel if they're like, I've walked away from many conversations going, yeah, they're saying that, but it really doesn't match.
Right.
And Carl matched, and I just believed him. I said, this guy's going to do it. Whether I'm involved or not, he's doing it. So for me, with all the knowledge and all the travels, this was an opportunity to put something together that wasn't even remotely out on the market. So I couldn't say no at that point. And so the birth of Shakeology took off at that point.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, with your travels, you've traveled all over the place to formulate this. So how did you necessarily find the ingredients, or not find them, but what made all of these ingredients so special, if you will?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I think, I started Shakeology with one question
Mm-hmm.
to inform me, because I wasn't formulating for myself. I was formulating for a mass general population. And I asked myself, what do people require right here, right now, in this day and age? That is the intersection that I believe is where superfoods and medicinal plants come into play in our reality right now. Because we're not in the same situation, because we're not eating the same foods, because we're getting stressors from nutritional stress, water stress, air stress, psychological stress. Just the idea of us living is massively different than before. We need help. And a lot of these superfoods have informed me for so many years by indigenous people who have empirical knowledge and data that they've used these things for 10 to 20,000 years.
Right.
So they have a strength there that goes way beyond a lab coat in how to use these. So, in asking that question, it started with almost an artistic flooding of all of the information that I had been exposed to, just kind of coming in. And with everything from ashwagandha to astragalus to cordyceps to moringa to all of these really powerful foods, you're essentially creating a formula that is an alchemical interaction. It's greater than the sum of its parts. So a lot of these botanicals, when coming together, make each other greater than if they were left alone. And that's a big distinction between kind of comparing meal replacements or proteins or all that stuff. This is a specific blend that is simply greater than all of the sums of its parts. And so, through years of formulating and playing with this and gathering the data and gathering the research and going back and talking to the people that where these plants come from, it just continued to kind of answer that question of what people need to deal with the stressors and the strains and the lack of nutrients and the lack of nutrient density. So Shakeology has a place. Why it's so successful, I believe, is because we need it. We need this next level of contribution that we've been kind of starving from just by the mere fatal conveniences that we're in, right? Because we're just, when I say that, the fatal conveniences are just it's the convenience of going down to the store and buying your food, but it's not fresh anymore. So there's vital nutrients that are being missed, even if you're buying organic. And a lot of these things I start diving into in my book quite a bit as well. And I'm, you're able to, with a book, the great thing about that is you're able to kind of really expand on different topics so people can understand it. So, but essentially the formulation of Shakeology was informed by the forces, the life forces that I have in the book. It really informed the ultimate reset and creating that, and yeah, so that's the foundation. And then superfoods come in to ignite more potential for the body.
Okay. Well, so obviously there's a rhyme and reason for every ingredient that's in Shakeology. But
Indeed.
if you had to pick two of your most favorite ingredients from Shakeology, what would those be and why?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I think moringa would certainly be one. I was wanting to get moringa in that formula in the beginning. It just wasn't, the supply chain wasn't there. But I can't even leave it with two. I mean, the adaptogens, because of their ability to help the body regulate itself and de-stress itself, from the cordyceps, the ashwagandha, astragalus, and moringa, I think are some of my top ones. And ones that I play with. I even add more throughout my day. Like, I really play with these things quite a bit, and they're pretty phenomenal. I've done some super secret formulas for some athletes and some celebrity people, just because I love what it can do. And people, it's fun to work with athletes and some celebrities, because they have such an attunement with their body.
Right.
But those adaptogens are pretty special for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what would you say the future for Shakeology is?
Well, the great thing about Shakeology is, and I've seen the failure of other companies, is that Shakeology is a moving formula. It's always adapting and changing, because we're always improving it. And so much of that happens behind the scenes. Like it's hard to market when we find out that the processing of Tulsi is better. And so we improve it, but we don't really, it doesn't show up on the label, and it's really hard to say, and we're always looking for the next superfood to contribute in a much broader way. So that's where we can, kind of the mission is, we never go backwards on the formula. We always go forward. I mean, obviously you need to have a sustainable product and have a price point, but the reality is we're always improving the formula. So the future is so awesome, because Shakeology is not stagnant.
Right.
It's always, and with the quality assurance teams and the research and development teams, that has created so many jobs in Beachbody, because of how arduous it is to keep such a dynamic formula in play. And these guys in behind the scenes should receive like gold stars. I mean, it's incredible the amount of work it takes to make sure that those 50 plus ingredients are at the quality and at the volume that we need at this point. And it's astonishing. It's astonishing.
Right. And it is admirable, because you see so many different companies selling out, taking steps backwards with their
Yeah,
products, being bought out by these major corporations. And
for sure.
it's cool to see that this has the integrity behind it. It is moving forward.
And big time. And the unique thing I can say about that is, I don't work for Beachbody, right? So I'm a free bird here. I'm independent. And why that's important, I think the only way that I'm still here, how many years later? I mean, I started formulating in 2006. And I'm still here. The reason why I'm still here is because the integrity of Carl and Isabel, and having that trickle down to everybody. Why I'm proud to say that we don't compromise, we don't stop, we're moving forward, is the reason I'm still here. If we were going backwards, you and I wouldn't be having this conversation, because I wouldn't even be here. There's plenty of things for me to do. If we're not contributing to something greater, if we're not contributing to someone's life, then what's the point? There's many ways to make money. From my point of view, I'm never going to go out to make money just to make money. It's a waste of my life, especially when I know what I know. So that's an incredible thing, and that speaks to the quality and the moral integrity that Beachbody lives in. And again, that's from someone that's that's I'm not losing my job by saying that, and Isabel's the same way. If this literally, Isabel's someone that is so honest that if Carl wasn't living up to that integrity, Isabel, if you were to ask her, she'd tell you. She wouldn't even edit herself.
Right.
And because of that, we're still around and we still contribute to making that formula fantastic.
That's beautiful. That, like I said, it's admirable because so many things sell out. So many people just do it for the money or whatever it is. And clearly that's not your intention. You created something that is just, it's got the integrity. It has the quality behind it. There's no
Exactly.
fluff, no filler.
Exactly. And that's some of the distinctions. I mean, it's not so sexy necessarily to, as coaches, to understand, but I'm telling you right now,
Mm-hmm.
we're working on ways to share some of this quality of what we're doing in the industry that's so different than other people, and in us showing the level at which we test everything and prove everything that's in that bag. That is one of the biggest distinctions, I would say, right at this point, of the difference of Shakeology. Is it's one thing to have a company just throw these things in a bag and they could mimic Shakeology, they can copy it, but at the end of the day, when you test these things and it's not from the ground of the indigenous people growing it all the way through and doing it correctly, it doesn't have what it's supposed to have in it. And there's a lot of that going on. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry with most people interested in making money and less people interested in actual health. And we have a big team that's devoted to making sure that we are in fact living up to what everyone should be doing, but very little are.
Totally. Well, with all that being said, we know the quality that Shakeology provides. We know how amazing it is. But how would you address somebody's concern over the price?
Yeah, I mean, I'm the worst person to ask that, because you know why? This is why.
Uh-huh.
Even a struggling college student who didn't have money, was paying his own way through college from a modest home in Minnesota. We didn't have money or necessarily a lot of that stuff. I've never skimped on food. I never understood why you would question spending money on the medicine that you're taking. That's food, that's water, that's air that you breathe, the time you spend in life. That's so valuable
Mm-hmm.
that we didn't compromise on this formula. Yes, is it more expensive than a protein shake that you have no idea where it's coming from or what it's about, but has a pretty package? Sure. But this is one of those things. And by the way, it's such a horrible conversation to have, because most people, if you really look at it, they're in some weird addictive habit. You can call it the coffee effect or the Starbucks or whatever, and they're wasting money in some weird way and then arguing over this proven formula, which is just insane to me. And questioning that over, say, uh, tater tots that they're feeding their kids. You
Right,
know what I'm
right.
saying?
Oh, for
So
sure.
so I've never had, especially a one-on-one conversation where someone has a better argument than me about the quality of food. We have traveled around the world to make sure that Shakeology has some of the greatest superfoods on the planet, and have massive teams, thousands and thousands of hours of research and quality assurance that literally go to every place around the world. I'm sorry that costs money, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
But there is no other way to do it in the right way than do it in that way that we do it with Shakeology. So that is what you're paying for. You're voting for your dollars to go, hey, you know what? This matters. It matters to me because quality nutrition is at the cornerstone of my life. Because listen, if you do not eat well, eventually your whole life is going to be trying to overcome your physical limitations, your degenerative disease, and your life now is over. Your life now becomes, look around. How are people living? Because eventually health is going to win. Right? Eventually, you're going to pay for your food, or you're going to pay a doctor that will never get you healthy, ever.
Right.
Not through the methods and the modalities that they have set up. Never going to happen.
Right.
When a doctor it's illegal for a doctor to give you any other remedy other than chemotherapy and radiation for cancer, when in fact they absolutely know that the contribution of health and food and water is essential for the foundation of your health, and yet they tell you nothing about that. Right. So everything's on top of its head. Food and superfoods and medicinal plants are absolutely required in this day and age. So yes, I'm the worst person to ask, but I'm also the best person to say, don't ever skimp on your food. It's not worth it. It will come back and bite you. And be proactive. Put good things in your body, and it will give you dividends beyond your wildest dreams.
For sure. Well, the medical field, they're not making money off from healthy people. So they're just going to Band-Aid the issue because they want a repeat customer, basically.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So I really admire that standpoint. And, I do have women. I get a lot of women who will come to me and ask me if it's okay to drink Shakeology while you're breastfeeding or pregnant. And I just, it makes me laugh almost. It's sad, but it makes me laugh because, you got to take a look at what else are you eating, though? What are you supplying your body with? And you're not questioning that.
Well, that's the thing. It's totally okay for that question on Shakeology, right? It is. It's cool, but also, like you said, question everything else, because I guarantee these people do not have your best interest. You can rest assured that we really do have your best interest. There is no way that I would have even be hired to make this formula, because you think it's easy to go around the world and find superfoods and bring them back and make sure they're grown and tested. It's the biggest pain in the ass to keep Shakeology in existence. I'm telling you, it is not a business model that you want to follow.
Right.
And that's the risk that Carl was willing to take in the beginning. And why is it still around? Because it actually has what it's supposed to have in it. It's getting out of the way and letting your body have this, at least a daily dose of this amazing food. And as cliche as that sounds, it's true.
Right.
That's it.
Right. Well, I'm sure we're lucky to have it priced at the price that it is, because with all the value, with all of everything that goes in behind the scenes that we don't know about, I'm sure it could be priced a lot more than what it is.
And ask any of these quality assurance teams and research and development, and they will back me up on that too, because they're working their ass off, right?
Yeah, right.
And that's paying their check to have our eyes look in every country of origin of all of these things, and not just go, hey, this piece of paper that the manufacturer has given me is good enough. Sorry, we don't just look at a piece of paper and say that's the material we want. We go and see it and find it and help the people to grow it. That's it. That's
beautiful. Well, with that being said, are you maybe in the works for anything else potentially with Beachbody? You help with the Ultimate Reset. What is there anything else? Can you let us in? Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a lot happening right now. Actually, I can't tell you, but there is multiple formulas going on right now. Some new ways of delivering some nutrients. I can say that.
Okay.
yeah, so it's really exciting. I mean, it takes a while to develop. So, you know, and to do things right and to find new ingredients and to make sure, you know, the challenge that we're in right now is finding a new superfood. You have to really make sure that they can expand exponentially. So it's a little tricky to get new novel superfoods into the pipeline when we have such a massive population now. So, but it's a good challenge for sure.
Right. Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing to have to worry about.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know that a lot of us are rooting for vegan vanilla Shakeology.
We are working on it for sure. So I can tell you that we are. That's not a surprise, and if it is a surprise, I just messed up. Um, but we are doing it, and things are going well with it too. It's turning out really well. So it's a complicated formula always, but it's looking pretty good.
Well, that's something I know I truly admired when the vanilla came out, because you hear about the synthetic vanillas that are out on the market, and to know the integrity behind this vanilla, that it's made with Madagascarian, vanilla, that's
Yeah.
incredible.
Exactly. And we actually paid more for it on purpose. We paid more so that it contributes to their sustainability in the country and supports hospitals and schools there. And we literally made that conscious choice to buy into their program that they already had set up towards this. And that's your company. That's what we did. And for a company to go, hey, we're going to spend an extra few cents for the fair trade sustainable contribution to that country is again why I'm still here, because we're doing things the right way.
Hmm. That's awesome. Well, I know that it's 8:05 our
That's right.
time, and I know that you're super busy, and we had a scheduling conflict earlier. So I really appreciate your flexibility. And if you
Sure.
need to hop off, that's totally fine. I don't want to take up any more of your time.
Yeah, I got a boogie here, but yeah, but this has been great, and we can always, do it again at some later date. This has been good for me to write a book and step into more of, disseminating information and sharing it. So I'm stoked to do it. And yeah, so I'm here for you guys, and from the jungles to the people now. But anyway, if anyone wants to get my book, I would greatly appreciate it. It's my website actually is superlife.com, and I have a bunch of great free information that I'm putting out, so you can sign up for my newsletter. And Amazon, Barnes and Noble has my book, and it really dives down into some stuff, and it actually really sets up for the ultimate reset pretty well as well. So yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, most definitely. Well, we're so appreciative of your time, Darin. We truly admire the hell out of you. We think that you're an incredible human being. We just appreciate everything. We appreciate your time, and thank you so much for hopping on our call.
You're so welcome, and take care of that jet lag, huh?
Okay, I'll do it.
All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. Bye.
What a cool call.
Yeah, hey, what do you guys think? Was that cool or what? Here, I want to open up the line, let you guys, any questions or anything. So now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of just do like a little free, no holds barred, if you guys have any questions. So do you have any questions?
How'd you line that up?
I just, Shelly Hine, who is doing the Dash to Diamond group, she told me that she actually had talked to him. She messaged him and she asked him if he would do it, and he said yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I thought, hell, if he's going to do that for her, I might as well ask. So
Yeah, it's awesome.
yeah, pretty cool. Awesome.
Yeah. I was hoping to ask him about people that get stomach problems from it, just to see what he would have to say, but it's kind of too late.
Yeah.
I've had stomach problems myself from it. I still take it. I just feel like I can't take it every day, or else I get bloated and like gas and pain and stuff. But I know a couple other people have had the same issue with it, and I want to know what to say to my customers when that happens. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of discouraging and scary for them.
Are you drinking?
Right. I wish I
drinking the whey one?
What was that, Kelly?
Are you drinking the whey one or the vegan one?
I've tried both.
Okay, because I have that problem with the whey one.
Yeah.
But I don't have a problem with the vegan one.
Yeah, I switched to vegan because I was told to switch to vegan, and I still have. It's the whey one gave me a lot more like pain, I guess, but the vegan still gives me bloating, and like I've never had any allergy to anything before, but I think my body has been adjusting to a lot of like the greens and stuff too in my diet. It's been a pretty drastic change for me, so I'm just letting it work its way out. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to see if there was anything that he knew could be a contributing factor and how to kind of approach that. But
I'm curious, Lindsay, with your Shakeology, are you doing like a full scoop? Have you tried a half scoop? Anything like that?
Yeah, when I first got my vegan, I started incorporating it slowly as half scoops. But it's just like instantly, as soon as I drink it, I start to feel like bloated and gassy. So I don't know. And I've done it just the shake, so I know it's not banana or like anything that I'm putting in it. But anyway, we don't have to talk about me.
Okay. Well, that's definitely, it sounds like Darin would be up for another call in the future. So
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Well, sorry we couldn't address that question.
That's all right.
All right. Let's see what April has to say. Oh, okay. So does anybody else have any questions or any comments or anything? Don't be shy. Here's someone might be typing something. Okay. April wants to know, what am I most excited about from Smart Success? Smart Success is awesome. I want all of you guys, all of you on the call, you want to absolutely, here, I'm going to mute you guys because we got some stuff going on here. But honestly, I would absolutely love to see you guys, all of you, every single one of you, hit up Smart Success next year. It's an incredible experience because just to be in the energy, you're with other Beachbody coaches. There's other people around too who are from other companies or whatever it might be, other backgrounds, but you're with Shalene. Shalene's probably one of the coolest, most authentic people I've ever experienced in my life. I've been to other seminars where, yeah, April says I want to be her, and I don't blame her. I want to be her too. I want her shoe collection. But the cool thing about Shalene is there's some speakers out there who kind of put themselves up on a pedestal, and they kind of make it seem like, like I'm up here and you're down there and you need to listen and this is how it's supposed to be. And Shalene brings herself down to your level. She lets you see eye to eye with her, and she's just a really incredible human being. Everything that she shares, there's so much value. She isn't just there to help you build your business, but she's there to make your relationships better. She's there to help you build a better life. Let me see some of the stuff that I jotted down from her. Like, she had this really incredible dude, one of the best people that she had. She has speakers that come, and one of the really cool speakers was named Pat Flynn. And Pat Flynn is, he's the guy behind the podcast Smart Passive Income. And Pat Flynn was talking about branding yourself and building a brand around yourself where you're able to convert people from like free customers to converting them to lifers, as Shalene would call it. Like you're progressing people from them just starting like just kind of like playing around with you, testing the water, see if you guys relate to each other at all. And then he just talked about the entire level of getting that person on board where they love you, they click with you. It was called Smart Passive Income, but where they click with you and they will follow you until you are not followable anymore, until you die, basically. I mean, he was a really incredible guy. Another thing that I want to discuss, and we'll be discussing on our next team call next week, is smart uses of your time. One of the biggest things that we all hear about with Beachbody is, I don't have enough time for this. I don't have enough time to be doing this. I don't know when to fit it in. I don't know how to be smart with my schedule. And so Shalene shared smart tips and topics and ways to really reverse engineer your goals, to get them into small, biteable chunks, so that you don't look at this monumentous goal, whether you want to hit emerald or you want to hit diamond, whatever it might be. You're not looking at it just completely overwhelmed by the thought of it. But she broke it down into small, biteable chunks. And so that's what I'm going to be doing for you guys next week, is I'm going to be teaching you how you can make your goals a lot more attainable and not as overwhelming. So we'll definitely be discussing that next week. But what I wanted to do, though, is I really want to talk about the opportunity to be personally mentored by John C. Maxwell. So last week, I went and saw John C. Maxwell. He is just this phenomenal leadership mentor, motivator. He's one of the nicest, sweetest men, and he's just a really incredible person with so much value and so much wisdom behind everything that he says. This guy, he's contracted out from only a few different people. Like, there's a big company in Dubai that hires John Maxwell to mentor their clients, their staff. And so what we have, which is really unique with Beachbody, or with our team, is we are under a woman by the name of Tracy Morrow, who is mentored by John Maxwell. And so our team has this incredible opportunity to be on calls with John Maxwell. Now, these calls are an investment in your future. These calls are about $1 a day. So what you are looking at paying here is if you want to build your business, if you want to go from not just being where you're at right now, but if you want to go to being a leader, and not only you being a leader, but if you want to build leaders under you so that you are developing gold ships under you, so that you are having a strong team of people that you don't need to micromanage, you don't need to always be on them, this is something that you want to do. Now, these calls, they are happening once a month. But the cool thing is on March 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, John Maxwell is going to be doing a free call. This free call is like an introduction to what you can expect from these 12 calls that you are going to get in a year. So what you're going to hear is you're going to hear John talk about leadership. You're going to hear him talk about building your business, but not just building your business, because that's all fine and dandy, but you want to be building a strong leadership team of people who are paying it forward, people who believe in this, people who you don't need to just always be checking in with. And so what you're going to be hearing from him is how to do all of those things. And not only that, but we're also going to be doing private calls after it. So after every call, once a month with John Maxwell, we're going to be doing a Zoom chat, just like what you see here. It's going to be an intimate chat between me and anybody who decides to get in on these calls. But we're going to go over the John Maxwell call. We're going to have 3 key questions going over the call that we'll all discuss. And then after that, we are also going to have a way to implement what John talked about into our business and into our leadership skills for the month. These calls are $400. And you might be looking at that price tag thinking, holy hell, how am I going to make that happen? But I'll tell you what, like I said, it is $1 a day. And also, I can guarantee that if you want to take your business to the next level, this is going to be something you're going to want to do. You know, if you are watching TV, cut your cable bill for a year, and I guarantee you'll be able to afford this. This is going to be something that is going to make your why become a realization. This is going to be something that allows you to become the leader that you want to be. So if you guys are interested in these calls, go ahead and on the 19th, which I believe is tomorrow, no, it's a few days from now. I'm all behind, freaking jet lag. But be on that call. And do know that this free call he's doing is not recorded. So if you don't check it out, you're missing the boat. Also know that the calls that John will be doing that you have to pay for, those will be recorded. And that will be something that you will be able to reference, you'll be able to use in the future. But, you know, this is his intellectual property. So this is something that we're not sharing. So if you don't do this, I am not going to make it open for you to do. This is something that if you want to just take your business and your leadership skills and everything to the next level, you have to make it non-negotiable. You need to figure out what you need to sell, what you need to do in order to make this happen. And I'm sorry, the free call, Affy, is on the 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So I really want to have you guys be on that call. Once I know further information about, the call number and everything, I'll be sure to let you guys know. But do know, too, that he is also going to be custom tailor making his calls specific to Beachbody. So he's going to be sharing with you information that's going to help your leadership skills as a Beachbody coach. So this is something, like I said, I cannot drill it in your head enough, but this is something that's going to be totally valuable for you and your business. Now, this is something as well that if you have coaches who sign up, let's say after the initial first startup date for this, let's say you have somebody sign up as a coach in April, they can still join in on this. There's still the opportunity for them to buy into this. This is an investment in your future. This is an investment in your downline's future. This is an investment in your life. So I truly hope that if you want to make this happen, you'll find any way possible to be on these calls. I was going to go into further detail about some of the stuff that I learned from John Maxwell, but I think that next week what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine the call and make it so that I am sharing with you not only stuff that I learned from John Maxwell, but what I also learned from Shalene as well. But I want to open up the call line again, and I want to have you guys ask any questions. This is kind of a free range call where you can ask any kind of question that you want. I basically want to hear from you guys. What do you want to see from me? What do you want to see from our team? What can I do to make things easier? Do you have any questions that need to be answered? Anything goes. And by all means, if you do have a question, don't be afraid to ask, because this is a non-judgment zone. Our culture and our team is really open. It's really cool. It's inviting. We are all one. So let me go ahead and open up the line real quick. Okay, maybe. It's pretty loud. Okay. All right, Corey. Let me see where you are. If you could unmute yourself, Corey, that would be awesome. And then just feel free to ask your question. Okay, hold on. Shoot. I lost you, Corey. Okay, there you are. Okay, so what's your question, Corey? I can't hear you. And I think you're unmuted too. Still can't hear you.
It's okay.
Can
you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I had to run out for a minute. Did he address the issue about genetically modified things in Shakeology or an organic version? Did you guys ask about that?
No, we did not.
You didn't? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else?
All right. Yeah.
Don't be shy, guys. Shakeology, anything.
I have a quick question.
Who's that?
Nicole.
Oh, sorry, Nicole. I didn't even. Okay, what's up?
Are you gonna do that call with Carolyn about her whiteboard schedule also?
Yes. That is something that needs to be done. So Carolyn, let's hash it out. Hold on, let me get rid of this echo. Carolyn, let me. Could you do the 30th, Carolyn?
Can you, 1 second, let me go grab my little planner thing.
Okay.
My phone is sitting on it. Okay. All right, 30. Monday. Oh, I have class that day, so I'm not sure what time I'll be back. But it is the class that I get a little earlier. So I should rush home.
Okay. Well, we'll discuss it. We'll figure it out.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks for that question.
No problem.
There's still an echo.
I know. I can hear myself. It's so awkward.
Can't understand anything.
Hold on. All right, so, okay, perfect. So I muted all the audio. So if you want to speak, just unmute yourself and hopefully we won't have any kind of echo. Anybody? Okay, hold on. Okay, yeah, that's a great question. So we have a guy on the call who is a newer coach, and basically he wants some advice on reaching male clients or maybe some ideas. So that's a great question. Obviously, yes, our team is comprised largely of female coaches. So I can understand where some of the scripts do come off like they are geared towards women. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recommend to you a couple of guys that I admire within the business who I think that they have the kind of style that you would be looking for that would kind of help you with your business. So what we'll do when I get off the call here is I'll message you and I'll share with you some of those coaches. But in the meantime, some of the coaches that I would look into is Caleb Thomas. So thanks for that, Carolyn. Caleb Thomas is awesome. He has an incredible YouTube account. Another one who's really good is Scotty Hobbs. And then another one that I really, really admire is Pat Reelman. So those three male coaches I know absolutely rock the business. So I would definitely look into them. I can message you their names, though, in case you need the spelling. But those three coaches, those can help you so that you can kind of tailor make the scripts into something that speaks in your male voice. And then Charisse wants to know, for thinner males trying to put on muscle instead of lose weight, what are the ideal programs for them? The ideal program that I would recommend is Body Beast. Body Beast is going to be the best program, but before you make that recommendation, I would be sure to ask the man that you are speaking to whether or not they have a good range of weights. And if they don't, if they'd be interested in purchasing a wide range of weights. And if that's not the case, I would recommend something like P90X3. P90X3 needs minimal weights. I mean, you still do need some weights for it, but it is going to help with putting on some muscle. You are welcome. So who else? Any questions? You could pick my brain and ask me anything you want. I mean, my brain's a little fried right now, but don't be shy.
Hey.
Hey, Brazilian.
I kind of had a question. I think since the new sampler pack came out, I was talking to like my Team Cup team, and we wanted to maybe do kind of like that build your own shake group thing again. Like, do you think now would be a good time to do that? I know April and Lee did one, and it was really successful, and I was like in it, so I got to see how they did that. But do you think now would be like a really good time since that new sampler came out to do that?
Yep,
yeah.
Totally. I know that they have had a lot of success from doing that. Mm-hmm. So I think now would be a great time for you to capitalize on that. That's new. It's got all the shake flavors in it. Why not?
Okay.
And with Darin just being on this call, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, and Heather wants to know what new sampler. So they have a new sampler package out with 6 packets of Shakeology. You get one of every flavor, including the vegan flavors. Okay. Another question from Sarah and Angela. If someone has purchased a sampler in the past, can they purchase a new one? Nope. You get that one time where you could purchase it. A coach or a client can only purchase the sampler package once. I'm pretty positive even for the new 6 sample one, yes. Ariana, did you have a question? I thought you unmuted yourself for a second. You kind of faked me out, didn't you? I can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Nope, we're striking out. Batting 0. Okay, Afi. Am I pronouncing your name right, girl? Every time, okay, I want to make sure. Every time I kind of have this inkling doubt in my mind that says, you're a moron. I think you're pronouncing it wrong.
If you just say coffee and take off the C, it's kind of the same thing.
Okay, Afi. Okay, thank you. That helps a lot. I like that. That's cute. All right, so you wanted to. Well, your question was, you've been a coach for almost 3 weeks now, and you've signed up other coaches, but I've yet to sell a single challenge package. Is this normal, or am I missing something? Well, a matter of fact, girl, no, it's not normal. That's a good thing, though, because you have the reverse problem, I guess. Most people have a really hard time signing up coaches, and they don't have that hard of a time selling challenge packages. So the fact that you are signing up coaches is something that's really awesome. So I wouldn't necessarily get discouraged. Matter of fact, most months I end up signing up a lot of coaches, and I hardly sell any challenge packages by themselves.
Okay, because I'm at Success Club 4 for the month so far, and I'm trying to get to 5, so I have like 2 weeks, and I don't know, I've been talking to people, I've been, every time I talk to people, it's not necessarily about a challenge pack, it's just kind of like building the relationships, but I feel like when I do finally pitch it, I don't know if it's maybe like the lack of confidence coming off because I'm so nervous, or if it's just like they genuinely, I'm just talking to people that aren't willing to spend the money. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yep, just we have a lot of people who are encouraging you and saying the same thing that I would say. Just keep planting the seeds. Just keep doing it. Know that you're going to talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people are going to tell you no. Matter of fact, about 3 weeks ago, I posted that I spoke to like 15 people, and I had nobody order. And so you're going to have different stages, different seasons of your business. So right now, you're a brand new coach. So what you have happening for you is still incredibly awesome. So just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep talking to people, plant seeds, be sure to follow up. The one-person script as well, that's incredible. So if you haven't done that, have you done that?
Remind me what the one-person script is. I've read through a lot of scripts, so I'm not sure.
So the one-person script is like, I'm looking for one person, one incredibly amazing person, you know, that one?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And how'd that work for you?
I posted that once, and I had people that like were interested, and I talked to them about it, but then they were like, oh, not right now. And like one person, it was so frustrating. I was talking to him, and I was asking him kind of, you know, what his goals were and what's stopping him from reaching his goals. And he was like, I'm fat and lazy. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, would you be willing to, you know, just 30 minutes of exercise a day? He's like, I don't know, that's a lot. And so I was like, okay, I don't know where to go from here.
Well, there really isn't anywhere to go from there. I mean, all you can do is just be there, support them, invite them to a free challenge, let them get their feet wet a little bit, and hope that that goes towards something else. Inevitably, though, as much as you want it for somebody, they have to want it for themselves. So let's be honest. I think everybody can chunk out 30 minutes of their day for fitness if they truly want it as bad as they do. So obviously, from the sounds of it, he just doesn't really want it. So I would just give him the opportunity to join a free group. And I know that we put together a free group recently that we're going to plug all of, you know, anybody who doesn't want to join with a challenge package. We're creating a free group. So that's something that's kind of still in the making. It's in the wings. So once that gets going, I would be sure to add him to that.
Okay. Can I also ask one more question?
Sure.
Okay. So like you have a website. I've looked at April's website. I know a couple of coaches have websites, and I mean, I'm really new, but like when I talk to people and they ask like, oh, how have you been? And I just kind of like try to quickly plug like, oh, you know, I just started an online health and fitness coaching business. And a couple of people have been like, oh, like, do you have a website? You know, where's your website? I'll go look at it. And I'm like, I don't want to send them to my Beachbody website because it's not really very user friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just didn't know what your thoughts would be on like making a website so soon. I looked at something Squared to make a website. I don't know what program you use.
Mm-hmm. My best suggestion to anybody is sorry, the arm of my chair fell off, but random. But I would not create a website just yet. I would be sure that you have a really strong foundation in the 3 vital behaviors. I would be sure that also your Instagram almost acts as a website for you. A lot of times when people talk to me and I might be meeting somebody, I'll say, hey, are you on Instagram? You should follow me on there. So that's what I would try to do, is build up the content of your Instagram and let that kind of be your website. Another thing is, so when people do ask you, like, oh, do you have a website? I would say, you know, I do have a website, but truthfully, I just really don't use it that much. Was there something you were looking for in specific with my website?
Okay.
So I would try that out.
I watched this really helpful video on that. Something that, like, it was some, like, random Melanie Mitro video that she did. where she like talked about her blog, and like in her power hour, she only does anything on a blog or anything like that only if she happens to have spare time left over in her day. So she does exactly what Kelly's saying. She doesn't prioritize her website or blog or anything at all. That's just kind of almost like, if you think of it as like a hobby that she does. It's not really a driving force in her business at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. The blog, I mean, the thing is I know so many people who've created blogs, and then they've put so much time investment or even money investment into a blog, and then they do nothing with it. They might post for like 7 days straight and then just completely tank out and not have anything to do with it. So that is something I would not do personally. Hold on, let's go back to, we got a question from Samantha. Okay, so she wants to know, has anyone had success with the Beachbody On Demand Challenge package? She said, I'm having a hard time promoting it, and it's so awesome. So here, let me mute all again real quick. So my response to the Beachbody On Demand is personally, I'm not promoting Beachbody On Demand. I'm not leading with it. That's my own personal take on it, because anytime, well, okay, I know that the 21-day fix fits my target market. I know that for a majority of the people I'm trying to help, the 21-day fix is something that is imperative to their health and fitness and nutrition. So I try to lead with the 21-day fix. Now, if I have somebody who tells me they can't do the 21-day fix because now it's $162 with shipping, I would then make the suggestion of, oh, hey, you know, would you be interested then in getting over, what is it, like $1,500 worth of fitness programs at your disposal for 3 months, plus a 30-day supply of Shakeology for $142? So I would make that suggestion then if they tell me that they can't do the 21-day fix. Now, if they tell me they can't do that, I'm going to make the suggestion of, oh, okay, I totally understand. Would you then be interested in doing this if perhaps you could get it for $39.95 with just the $1,500 worth of fitness programs at your disposal whenever you want for 3 months straight? So I would do that, because that is like, what is $39.95 divided by 90? That's like fractions of a dollar. So that's totally affordable. And then the cool thing about that is $39.95 is affordable. Another thing is it's a residual form of income. So, you know, you get people who are on Shakeology and they order Shakeology month after month after month, and you're getting that commission. Well, if you have enough people who are doing the $39.95 every 3 months, that chunk of money compounds very quickly. So if you make that suggestion to anybody who says that they can't afford this, that, or the other thing, then I would make the suggestion of doing, you know, just the basic club. So, Afi, that is something maybe you could recommend to that guy too.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. All right, let me go up. We got more questions here. So Monica said, I had my first guy come to me for help, and I felt like I had no idea what to suggest to him. Help. Okay, so with a guy, I still run through the 21-day fix script, or the the ultimate script. Because with the ultimate or the 21-day fix script, you're still asking them about nutrition. And anytime, it doesn't matter if you're male or female, if you tell me that you are having a hard time with nutrition, or you binge eat, or you just don't know what the hell it is that you should be eating, I'm going to make the recommendation of the 21-day fix. There have been a lot of people. I know Jess Hill, her husband Adam, had crazy, absolutely ridiculous results from the 21-day fix. And I don't know either if you guys saw, but Carl Deichler just shared his photos from the 21-day fix extreme. Ridiculous. absolutely ridiculous. So day in and day out, I will recommend the 21-day fix. Now, if a guy comes to me and he tells me he doesn't have any problems whatsoever with fitness or with nutrition, then my next recommendation is probably going to be P90X3 for a guy. That would be my next suggestion. All right, so let's go back up here. All right, sir, okay, so Ariana, she said, hello, everyone from Brazil. Oh, you're welcome, Monica. Hold on. So, Kelly, after going to various leadership seminars and events, what are some goals that you have going forward? Where do you see the future of our team going forward? That's an awesome question. So essentially what I see happening for our team is I see our team building a lot of leaders. I see our team growing exponentially because we are developing leadership skills where we are just finer tuning ourselves. You know, we are becoming the greatest version of ourselves. We're attracting like-minded people to our businesses. And thus, through doing that, we are finding people who we deserve to work with and who deserve to work with us. So I see that being something major in our future. Another thing that I also see in our future is I have a goal for us to have at least 30 diamond coaches in our entire team by December 31st. And I don't think that that is anything that cannot be accomplished. Because look at all of you guys on this call right now. I'm looking at every single one of you. And every single one of you are totally diamond material. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason why you guys cannot be. If you do not know my story, if you've lived under a rock, I mean, when I started this, it took me 1.5 years for me to actually get out of my own way and start working the business. And even when I did start working the business 1.5 years in, I absolutely still sucked. It took me a long time to get to where I am now. And I see a lot of you guys who are absolutely blowing what I did completely. I mean, just you're annihilating me. And so my projection for all of your guys' future when you're 5 years into this is you're going to be a lot further ahead. I mean, right now where I am, we have over 600 people on our team. That's 600 people underneath me. And so the cool thing about this is each one of you can have teams much larger than 600 people underneath you when you're 5 years in. So right now, within the next few months leading up into December, I see us having at least 30 diamond coaches. And like I said, each and every single one of you are those kind of leaders, especially if you get in on the John Maxwell stuff. So if you guys, I cannot emphasize enough, what I learned from John Maxwell, just being there for 2 days with him was incredible. One of the tips that he said is you do not want to drag people around you in this business. You want people who want this. So if you have people who are kind of just floundering and they're half in, they're half out, they're not totally in on this, then dude, let those people go. Let those people know that, hey, maybe this isn't for you. I'm sorry, but I don't want you to waste your time anymore. And for me, that was a really liberating thing to hear because we feel like we have to drag people with us. And you don't have to do that. People should want to do this. This is a freaking ridiculously incredible opportunity. The paycheck I got 2 weeks ago, people have to hustle their ass off to make that kind of paycheck. And I'm doing it by sitting in the comfort of my own home, helping people. So you guys have this ridiculous opportunity to help an immense number of people and pay it forward. So don't ever feel like you have to drag people along with you on this journey. Cut ties with people who are struggling and who can't make the connection between their vision for this and where they're going in the future. So long story short, Ariana, I see us developing a lot of leaders within this team. I see us having at least 30 diamond coaches in our entire team by December 31st. And right now I think we have 12 diamond coaches. So, I mean, we can even make that number higher than that, totally. And you're going to be one of them, girl. All the way from Brazil. All right, so let's go back up. So somebody wanted to know, what about a like page? So should I create a like page? My suggestion to the question of should I create a like page is you can create a like page if you can say a couple of things. If you are being proof, or if you're doing the 3 vital behaviors on a consistent basis, then go ahead, create a like page. Additionally, create a like page if you do not have any problem whatsoever paying to get your like page advertised. So if you are somebody who does not want to get your like page advertised, or right now you just can't wrap your mind around the fact of how am I going to pay to get this advertised, don't create a like page. Because the truth is I have over 3,000 people that follow my like page, and on a post that I think is a good post, right now I'm getting like, maybe 10 people will comment. And before, when I was using my personal page, I might get like 20 to 30 comments with having like 4,000 people following me. And so my engagement has decreased a lot. And the reason behind that is what they want you to do with a like page is they want you to get your like page advertised, and they want you to advertise the hell out of your like page for your stuff to be seen. So if you are on a like page and you have even 100 people following you, you might have one person see a post. It's not worth your time. So do your personal page. Unless you can totally invest $60 to $100 a week in getting your like page advertised, don't go there. That's just my personal opinion. All right. All right, we got a question from Sarah and Angela. So they both said, we are both on the verge of getting to diamond and have 11 PS coaches each, but our trouble right now is trying to help our coaches get to emerald. The ones we need to get to emerald each have one coach already and just need to bang out that second one by next week. Aside from the one-person script, do you have any pointers for how to remain cool and calm and not come across as pushy to get their butts to emerald? All right, that's a great question. So what I would do then with these coaches who, you want to get them to emerald, I would get personally on a Zoom chat with them. I would get on a Zoom chat with them and I would go through their list. And I would look at their list and I would say, okay, on your list right now, who do you have on this list that if you found out they became a coach underneath somebody else, it would completely chap your ass? Like, you would be butthurt if you found out they became a coach underneath somebody else. I know that for poor Kelly Severhoff, she had that happen. She had talked to somebody about the coaching opportunity and she didn't follow up, and they ended up becoming a coach underneath somebody else. So, and I've had several times where I didn't reach out to somebody and I ended up finding out later that they became a coach underneath somebody else, and it makes you so mad. Like, if I would have just said something, gosh dang, this freaking arm to my chair. But like, seriously though, talk to people. Look at that list with your coaches and say, okay, who from this list is somebody that it would just absolutely make you so upset if they became a coach underneath somebody else? And then what you need to do with them.
If I wanted to, I could say something up there.
Oh, yeah.
That's loyalty that they stayed on right there.
No, they're not on right now. Yeah.
I tried to make it go better.
Thank you. All right, awesome. So technical glitches, everything aside. Okay, sorry, my computer died. Anyway, so Sarah and Angela, talk to your coaches, figure out who on their list they have that, you know, they would be upset about if they became a coach underneath somebody else. Then what I would do is I would either get on a 3-way call with them. Another thing that I have found that is really super helpful is you could also do a group chat between you, your coach, and your coach's prospect. And that could be something that could really be helpful. So I would do that. I would find a way to get on a 3-way call with them or do a group chat and just light a fire under their butt. Maybe even create an incentive. If you can find a way to incentivize it, let them know, like, hey, if you reach Emerald with this, you're going to achieve this. So that might be another awesome thing that you can do. Hopefully that helped. All right, cool. Anybody else have any questions? You? Nope. All right, well, cool. Well, I don't want to take, well, let's do a countdown. Okay? So we're going to do a countdown from 10. If I don't hear from you, forever hold your peace. All right, hey, Angela, you can do it. All right, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you. I love every single one of you. You are all rock stars. You just, yes, you make my heart go boom. But you guys have a great night. Thank you for holding tight. Darin was freaking awesome. I loved it. Yeah, cheers to that. I hope that was Shakeology in that wine glass. You guys are awesome. Afi, youarethebomb.com too, my girl. You guys all have a wonderful evening. Keep being rock stars. Peace out, guys.